Do you remember Weeble Stuff? Were you ever on Weeble Stuff? Weeble Stuff is a website,
no.
like funny cartoons.
Oh.
It's a butcher, mushroom,
Snake!
And first up in the animal parade tonight, we have a fox. What will the fox do? Will the fox run past or will he be scared? He's scared and he runs away. And next up, we have the elusive, the rare Pine Marten. Once again, Pine Marten is cautious. Pine Marten is scared. Pine Marten leaves. And finally, what have we got coming up in the darkness? It's Tank the Badger. Is he going to stop? Is he going to stop? No! Tank the Badger don't care.
So common hogweed, the bristles point down, the leaves are sort of fluffy, which giant hogweed doesn't have. So the giant hogweed almost has a touch of a glossy leaf spot, like really aggressive looking. You can see these are almost a bit sort of, almost have a bit of a roundness to them. But you see if I cut these back, is that they're like having garlic cloves basically.
Mmm. That's so much nicer than the leaves.
Yeah, I know, it's good, isn't it?
It's juicy.
Do you want to have a go at chopping? Just mind your fingers, it's very sharp. You can chop a mushroom if you like.
If I like, I'm allowed to chop a mushroom. Look what Rob just cooked. Huh. Vegetables of the forest and meat of the meat of the field. That's what we got.
Hogweed,
Hogweed,
wild garlic,
and
nettles.
nettles. As I said earlier, this is better than anything I've made in the last 6 months.
No, it's alright.
So the real reason I'm down here again at Finnebrogue Woods with Bushman Rob from the Finnebrogue Woods School of Bushcraft is that Apeman have sent us 2 of these wildlife trail cameras, and they shoot up to 4K, they take stills. It's got infrared lights in it, and the idea is you set this up where you think there might be wildlife. Motion detector and it will automatically trigger and record the wildlife. And there's a badger set down here, so we're going to go and set a couple of these up and see what we can capture. We might also sit and stalk out the badgers as well. Here's the trail cam, closer look. This is an Apeman H80 trail camera. Have a look at the little buckles on the side here. You open those up and it reveals the gubbins, the inners. You've got infrared lights here, cameras here, there's a couple of LEDs here, and you've got controls, and then there's a sensor down here. And the really nice thing about this is there's a built-in LCD. I'll just switch it on. So you switch it on to test mode, and that lets you set all the settings and, you know, preview your clips. So there we go, you're getting a live, see that? Preview. So it means you don't have to like take your card away or go home with it to see what you shot, but it does have Wi-Fi built in as well, and there is an app which you can connect your phone to see what's on it, and I assume set settings. So I've now got my phone hooked up to the wildlife camera, and I'm transferring the files directly over to my phone, which is handy because it means I can connect then to Rob's camera and transfer the files to my phone so he doesn't have to send them to me. That's quite cool. And also when it was connected, it let you live preview on your phone what the camera was seeing, which would probably help if you're setting it up, because that's one of the things that's tricky to get right, is the angle. If I tap through, I can switch between photo mode, video mode, and then I can go into playback mode as well. There's nothing worth playing here at the minute, but that's just quite nice that everything's just on that screen. You don't have to, you don't have to take the memory card out. Yeah, you get a pile of accessories with it, including lots of really long webbing so you can attach it to a tree, and that's what we're going to be using tonight. It's weather sealed to IPX, something it'll survive the shower and the rain. Takes eight AA batteries, which is quite a lot. I suppose the handy thing about that is because you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't have to worry about charging them up. You just pop in a fresh set. Don't know how long they last yet. When you set it up, you can set it up so that it can record photographs, photo and video. So assume that means it'll take a photograph, then it'll take the video. And you can also set the length of the video, so you could do 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever you want. I've set it up currently to do, I think, 15 seconds, and then you can set up an interval, and then you can set up this. There's loads of settings. Forget about the settings. We're just going to go now over to where the badgers live, set these up, and stake the place out, and try and see what we can actually get.
Just a quick note on video quality. While this does shoot 4K, it's only at 10 frames a second, so you won't get smooth footage. You need to shoot at 1080 to get a smooth 30 frames per second. 2.7K will do 20 frames a second, which again isn't smooth, but it's smoother than 4K. The quality out of this is probably similar to a cheap action camera, but given that it's not that expensive to start with, that's kind of what I expected. Really, the purpose of these cameras is to let you know if something is actually there at all and what's there, rather than shooting anything cinematic. So
we'll just go through there, and then that'll give us a bit of an advantage on our approach.
I've switched over to my 50mm lens because it's better in the dark. But if I try to video myself, I look like this. I should try to open that very quietly. Shh. There we go. There's two of them set up. The other one, it's just picked me up. We're sitting up just above the Badger Trail. You can sort of see it down through the clip there. Do you see a badger yet? No badger yet.
Back at the campfire, no badgers made an appearance.
Well,
We heard them leaving.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely heard them leave. Just come out the other end where it wasn't completely opposite us, but you know,
Yeah.
not too bad.
They evaded us.
Or we evaded them.
Or we evaded Yeah. 2 traps are set, so we'll see what, if anything.
Camera traps.
Camera traps. Yes, we're not trapping badgers. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. 2 camera traps set. We'll check them in the morning. But I think it's gonna get warm. It's very cold. This is your leprechaun.
Yeah. Yeah. So they would sit there, just so the leprechauns have a good view, and that's just a little bathing tub for the leprechauns there.
It's the next morning. We're on the way to see if any badgers triggered the camera traps last night.
So
I'm not hopeful. Okay. It's the badger we thought we heard went that way. That was my alarm clock. It was up 3 hours before the alarm clock. These are when the badger sits. They're everywhere here.
Yeah, yeah.
And last night we were perched way up there looking down here. So we will go and see. There's another one. See if the camera's actually got anything. So that's camera 1. Camera 2, we'll check yours first.
There's 18, I only had 6 before.
Okay. So unless it's 18 of you setting it up.
Yeah, probably.
Actually setting it up. That's this morning.
Oh, got one.
We got a badger. Let's see. Brilliant. It looks like it's gonna walk past. It's sniffing where I put the other camera. It's heading over to the other camera. Yeah, that must be it. That's all me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's you setting up.
Okay, we got one badger shot so far.
Okay.
I'm quite pleased with that.
Yeah.
Well chopped. Right, I'll go and see if I managed to catch
You must have
a
got
glimpse.
it. You must
Yeah,
have
because
got
it went down this way.
Yeah.
Moment of truth. Did I get the badger?
Yeah. There he is.
There he is.
Yeah. You got him.
Yeah, got the badger. We got
Success.
some badgers. Yeah.
Couple of nights after, Rob captured this footage on a bridge that crossed a swampy area, and he'd suspected the animals had been using it as a highway, and it turns out they had captured a fox, quite an elusive pine marten, and then Tank the badger. Again, the hilarious thing is that the badger is just not bothered at all by the camera, where the other animals are really cautious and turn and run off. Probably not helped with the fact that badgers apparently have really bad eyesight, but it just looks like the badger's just doesn't care.
It's, yeah, it must. It's,
I don't think you thought it was going to work, because you just threw it up in the tree. And
Yeah. It's idiot proof. So there you go. By the way, I'm not a granddad.
But the question is, where is the granddad that owned that mug?
Very true.
It's over a month later since I was first here to try and film the badgers. The cameras, the wildlife cameras are great. They help us prove that there are badgers here, but I really wanted to get proper shots of the badgers with my good camera. So I came back up last night. At this point, Rob has now built a badger hide, which is now part of a badger watching experience that you can do here. But so we sat out last night to try and see if we could see the badgers. There for about an hour and a half, just scanning, getting darker and darker. This camera will only keep working after it gets so dark. Once it gets too dark, you can't see a thing. But eventually, just spotted Tank, the big male badger, coming out for his nightly run, and we got this shot. Now, unfortunately, he immediately headed off in the opposite direction and we didn't see him again the entire night, but finally got an actual shot of the badger in person.